Was the Big Ten threatening Michigan? And could Michigan potentially go independent in 2036? We'll talk about what we like about the current Michigan football team in 2025, and it's Maryland week, all coming up next on Michigan Wolverines Live. And here we go with another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live. As I get my camera back, I went a little fast there on the on banging the table. Let's see. There we go. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live. John D'Adamo here, taking you through the next hour and a half or so. You can catch us live on YouTube, on X, on Twitch, and we sound good on radio as well, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeart. Hit that like button as you join us, subscribe, and let a friend know that we're live. All right? If everybody shares this out, I tell you every show, if you share this out with at least one other friend, we're going to really knock this thing out of the park here. Episode 226, Maryland week. Before we get to TJ joining us, we do want to remind everybody that we take super chats. So if you have a comment, you have a question, a statement, anything, you're going to want to super chat it, because that'll put it right up to the top of the queue, and that's the only way to guarantee that we're going to read your comment, is if you send us a super chat. And with that said, let's bring on partner in crime here every Tuesday, TJ Ronin in the house.
What up, man? The Notre Dame avatar, those sneaky bastards, you know what I mean? Like trying to sabotage our show. We're here. Big week, John. Playoffs. We're living it before others get to live it, so that's cool. But yeah, man, looking forward to a good show. We got a lot to talk about.
Oh, we do. And everybody's here. And who gave Keel a membership? Just kidding. Great to see Keel here. We got Beats and Treats. We got Bulls in the house, Goats, Chippo. Yeah, a little bit of I slammed the treats a little too hard and knocked my camera out. So there we go. There we go. Bull, smoke these Ohio State channels. Quinn's in the house. So everybody's here. Bull telling everybody also to like and subscribe. This community rocks. Really appreciate everybody stopping by. And we also appreciate our sponsors. You see them right there up at the upper right. Win Agency and Healthy Dogma. So Win Agency, as always, has a little message for everybody here on the recent win.
Hey Michigan fans, another exciting win for the Maize and Blue. With temperatures getting colder and the games getting more intense, we know open enrollment for health insurance is right around the corner. Open enrollment for 2026 goes from November 1st to December 15th for those who want a January 1st effective date. Let Win Agency take care of your health plan so you can spend more time and energy following our amazing team. Give us a call or visit our website today. Go Blue!
Boom. Get yourself some life insurance. Get yourself some Medicare. Wherever you're at, give it to Win Agency, because they've been there for us for 2 seasons, folks. 2 years. So if you know somebody, either yourself or somebody else, who has Medicare needs, or Marketplace for under 65, or life insurance, always good to have some life insurance. I try to always have at least 1x the salary, just so you're covered. No matter what happens, you're covered, and for your loved ones. So check that out, obviously. And then also Healthy Dogma. That's right, folks. Healthy Dogma. So Healthy Dogma is owned by Michigan alumni who know what loyalty means. For decades, the May family has cheered in the big house and always brings that same dedication to crafting clean, Michigan-made food for dogs. Check out healthydogma.com and use code 25GoBlue because Michigan loyalty extends to four-legged fans too. And TJ's got the site right up there. Super easy to navigate. A fresh approach to dog food. Feed your dog the right stuff. And by the way, Goat Since Yost says, my dog's hungry. Well, that's a perfect opportunity to hit up Healthy Dogma to get you what you need. And we'll pop that link as well. So you've got all the links to all of our people. Consider helping our sponsors because they contribute. They help power, keep the lights on for our shows. So want to thank both of them, of course. And Keegan also says, I've needed some life insurance this year. So there it is. Always need, pretty much everything you need. Insurance, dog food, poker tables on Saturdays. Got everything. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and get to our topics. Again, we encourage anybody who has any super chats to give a super chat, comment, or question. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Given what the Big Ten, let's face it, TJ, since Tony Petitti has become the commissioner of the Big Ten, they haven't exactly had the most perfect relationship, so to speak. Been quite a few waves. That relationship a little rocky, and we saw it in 23. And according to this is a legit regent, right? Regent Bernstein, who, by the way, is somebody that I've actually met, full disclosure, a couple of times back when I was in at the university. And he knows his shit, right? He's not somebody that we would call it, or put here. But it was an ESPN article that talked about this, and Mark Bernstein, who's the chairman of the Board of Regents, talking about to the Associated Press that Petitti attempted to strong arm Michigan in a move he said calls into question his continued leadership of the Big Ten Conference about the $2.4 billion equity deal. So that's what the Big Ten was trying to pressure Michigan to get on board with the other 16 schools that were in favor of the equity deal. So,
well, let's get people caught up
for sure.
Well, let's get people caught up, right? So, we didn't really cover it too much. We covered it one time. Mm-hmm. So essentially, there was an equity deal on the table by was it UC and what was it, John? UC,
California, private equity. Mm-hmm.
Yep, pension fund, right? And essentially, every school in the conference was on board with this except two. The two schools were, of course, Michigan, leaders and best, and USC. USC did not want to sign the deal because they were a tier 2 payment, which I'll break down what that means. But essentially Michigan was of the position, well, this doesn't benefit us because by signing this deal, John, it extended the grantor rights from 2036 to 2034, which has significance, which we'll talk about with Jordan Acker's comments. Okay. So what's interesting is here's the payout, John. So the tier 1 schools are Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State at $190 million. How
about that Penn State in the top 3 there?
That's right. $155 million would go to USC and Oregon. And then every other school, little brother included, would get $110 million, aka your bottom feeder schools.
Your poverty programs.
Apparently Washington was actually surprised to hear that they're only getting $110 million. But
is that the school, do you think? Because there was a school, somebody said,
I know. No,
oh, wait, we're just like Rutgers?
Right. Yeah, I don't know if it was Washington or little brother or who it was, but yeah, somebody made a comment that they're surprised they're in the same bracket as Rutgers. But what's interesting is the UC investment company put out a statement saying that 18 institutions is the best path for Michigan. So now it appears everything's in pause until all 18 are on board. And this is a quote from UC Investments. The unity of the 18 Big Ten university members is key to the success of Big Ten enterprises. Now, what's interesting about that, John, is Michigan doesn't want to sign it. We know this. Now, Jordan Acker had some interesting comments before we get into Mark Bernstein breaking that down, because I think that's kind of the line in the sand, John. Jordan Acker goes, the possibility, and we've all been wanting this. Like, we gotta love what our regents are doing here, guys. The possibility of independence for football is certainly something to be considered. Not today, but at the end of the grant of rights in 2036. Meaning, John, and we can hit on it here. They want to take, Michigan is considering the Notre Dame path, which means your football team is independent, but the rest of your sports programs are in the Big Ten, another conference. It'd be Big Ten though. We have all wanted Michigan to go independent. This would allow, if Michigan did go that path, they'd be able to get their own TV rights deal for their football team, and then their other sports would still get Big Ten rights for the remainder of sports. John, before we get into Mark Bernstein and him crossing the line, what's your thoughts on that position? Because we haven't talked about that yet or discussed it.
The independent possibility?
The independent angle, yeah, I think we need to hit on that for sure.
You know, for the longest time, I was always the person that was like, "Hey, Notre Dame, you know you want to join the Big Ten."
Yeah, me too.
Like I always thought it was a little ridiculous that you have these schools sitting out during conference championship week. I don't love that, but this is now the second, if this is true, and I believe Bernstein, that Michigan was being pressured to accept the equity deal.
And that's what I wanted to get into next. But go on. You're fine. Hit it.
This is now multiple offenses where I think that the Big Ten and the Big Ten commissioner have failed to advocate for one of their largest programs in the entire conference.
Yep.
It's not the first time. And, you know, people might say we want special treatment. Hell yeah, we want special treatment. Michigan isn't the same as Rutgers. Michigan isn't the same as Iowa. Michigan is a global, you know, Garrison says we're a regional program. No, sir. Michigan is a global program. Michigan is a global brand with one of the largest amounts of fans around the world. It's not even, it's basically Michigan, Notre Dame. You could make an argument Alabama, Georgia have gotten to the point because of their national relevance the last 20 years, but Michigan, Notre Dame, I'll say it, Ohio State.
Yeah, we know.
Sure.
But
you know, I know a lot of people internationally who are Michigan fans, and maybe some of them I've talked into becoming Michigan fans. But my overall point is that Michigan is worthy of special treatment, and Michigan hasn't received anything close to that. In fact, the exact opposite in 2023, when the Big Ten punished Michigan for 3 games before the investigation had even really taken off with the Stallion stuff. Petiti just took it upon himself because every other school, their coaches were whining to him. Yeah. So the schools were like whining to, privately to Petiti, hey, are you going to do something about this? Even after Michigan fired Connor Stallions, even after pretty much every school went to a huddle system, completely nullifying any signal advantage. Okay, let's punish them for 3 games. And that was just the beginning of how Michigan has been treated in the Petiti era of the Big Ten. Fox was not happy about that. I'm sure that Fox would be very high up in the line if Michigan were to go independent to do, somewhere in the realm of $100 million deal.
Yeah.
If Notre Dame could get 60 to 70 from NBC, I think Michigan could probably put it up into that 9 figures.
Yeah, you'd get ESPN and Fox going for that one. You better believe, the ESPN wants Michigan. Of course, ESPN will want Michigan. They'd want the SEC and Michigan. But what I love about it, John, and I'll dig in more into the Bernstein angle and the whole Big Ten pressuring us. But what essentially, John, Michigan is tired of fucking dealing with the Big Ten shit. Is what this is. Michigan is essentially saying to the Big Ten, we don't need you. We really don't. We really don't. So continue fucking with us, and we're gonna make it to where we fucking leave, bro. And then apparently, so to the Bernstein thing, which you've hit on, John. Apparently, and ESPN wrote an article per Bernstein. Okay. The Big Ten Conference Commissioner has threatened the University of Michigan with penalties if we do not approve this deal. And then what I love about what Bernstein says is nobody pushes around the University of Michigan ever. And I fucking love that, dude, because, and guess what? Guess how you know Michigan's not fucking around with that? Who backed out of the deal? Because all 18 institutions are not in.
The private equity
investment. That's right. You see investments. So Michigan's not playing around. We don't need the fucking money. Even though we get one of the largest pies of the money, we don't want to be locked into the grant of rights in 2046 because why? Michigan is considering independence in 2036. Okay. For any rivals who said Michigan would never, no, they've been discussing this since Signgate. This was a discussion then. It's only become more and more I would say a topic of discussion for Michigan. And we know this because now the regents are fucking saying it out loud that the time Michigan would consider this as 2036, which is, I think music to a lot of Michigan fans' ears, really. I mean, look, if we can make it work with the Big Ten, great. But if the Big Ten wants to keep fucking around and keep bowing to all these other schools in this fucking conference when they do not have the precedence to even do some of the things that they fucking have done, then good on Michigan to legitimately saying we don't like, then fuck you. Like, we'll do it without you, don't need you. We're not saying, like, Michigan's not saying, hey, you'll fail without us. But Michigan is saying you're not as valuable without us. And guess what? Argue that. They're not. And how do we know that? UC Investments is telling you we're not interested if Michigan and USC are not in this. John,
exactly.
16 other schools are in this. But it is not valuable to them if Michigan and USC are not. Think about that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly. I mean, you look at the ratings that Michigan has pulled. You look at every time Michigan and Ohio State face each other, it's a 17 to 20 million viewer game minimum, and it's usually the most watched game of the season, or up there in like the top 2 or 3. And you look at that, like, of course it doesn't pencil, as we say in the investor world. Like, the deal, it doesn't pencil if you don't have Michigan and USC on board, because without that, you have, poverty programs like Ohio State and Penn State and others like that. And by the way, that's why Ohio State wants this deal, because they're in debt.
They're $30 million in debt.
So I just think it's obvious. Like, of course, Michigan.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
I hate to see it, dude. Such a prestigious university like Ohio State being broke. Maybe they should call their boy Lex.
World's smallest violin. It is funny though that Ohio State fans on X have said thank you, Michigan. It's one of the only times I've seen Ohio State fans actually saying nice things.
So let's all right, then let's show some respect there, right? Because the Ohio State fan base has actually given Michigan credit here. So look, we took our shot at their university, but respect, because it is, the truth is too, like, yes, there's an influx of cash. Obviously there's some benefit, but this locks Ohio State in that deal till 2046. Why the fuck would Ohio State want to do that? Like, so Jordan Acker's right. His comments about it's a short-sighted deal. Like, do you guys understand how much money you're going to leave on the table in 2037? Because you want the money now. You are willing to sacrifice the greater good of your institution for the now and not the long-term gain. That's disgusting. And I will give credit here to our regions for being wise on this. I mean, they really are. They are the grown-ups in the room. USC would agree to this if they were a tier 1.
Sure.
They're not, so I mean, it's wild, but I mean, good on Michigan for one. I really appreciate them taking this public. I really appreciate Jordan Acker talking about, they're going to consider independence in 2036. I really appreciate Bernstein literally saying they are being threatened by the Big Ten because they're not getting this deal done, and fucking straight up saying this is a PR battle right now, John. Straight up saying nobody pushes Michigan around ever. Good to fucking see some fight.
It's nice to see some backbone now, at least.
Well, let me say this too, because you already know we got some fans who are going to be like, well, when it comes to draw the guns, they're going to back down. Look, have they backed down? Did they back down when the Harbaugh said? Yes, they did. Did they just back down recently and going against the appeal? Mm-hmm. They did. They did. Don't deny that. But it is true that Michigan did stand up and this deal did not go through. This is true. That did happen. So I do think, John, when it comes to financial, I think Michigan's willing to do what it needs to do for the greater good of Michigan.
I was going to say, folks, we know this in life. We know this when we look at the world, when we look at politics, when we look at business, when money is the discussion, everything changes.
Yeah, it gets real. Yeah, exactly.
It gets real. This isn't about, protecting Jim Harbaugh's legacy. This is about protecting Michigan being one of the big dogs financially in the sport.
Yeah.
And Michigan right now is on another level from pretty much every other school in the Big Ten when it comes to financials. And I'm not just talking about the endowment. I'm talking about what's flowing through the athletic department, what's flowing through Champion Circle, what's flowing through ticket sales, donors, not just Ellison, but these donors that are stepping up to fund NIL, to fund what's happening. And so Michigan's on another plane right now. And so if Michigan were to say yes to this, it then adds a lot more parity for schools like that go 4-8. Now they have a little bit more of a playing field. And why is Michigan going to reward a school that basically complained and tried to get us the death penalty 2 years ago?
Right. Yeah, check this out. Speaking of like the financial capability. So this is a list that just came out. Universities producing the most billionaires, John, in the world. Michigan is ranked 13th. Fuck Harvard and Stanford, by the way. But Michigan is ranked 13th in the world in the most billionaires per university, with 15 total. Now we really have 16 because Uncle Larry's been helping us out. Mm-hmm. But, and his wife, she counts, right? That's 16. All right. But point being is the only schools above us, USC is above us. But other than that, there are no schools besides Stanford. 69, good number.
Nice.
But there is, like, this just goes to show you the financial firepower of a school like Michigan. Another school in the top 21 that's in our conference is UCLA. UCLA has 12. So you have UCLA, you have USC, and you have Michigan. So point being is resources.
A lot of those are private schools that are above.
Well, yeah.
Michigan is considered the public Ivy for a reason.
That's right. And that's exactly what our boy Dr. Troy said. Those are private schools. Exactly, though. So the point being is Michigan, it doesn't need the Big Ten. We know this. It has the resources. The school, like what Notre Dame does, what's oddly enough, I'm actually gaining respect for their independence because they actually, in my opinion, are making the right move, doing what we've dealt with in the conference. Well, I'm quite confident Michigan can thrive in that that same exact independent space better than even Notre Dame could. I think Michigan would absolutely fucking kill it on a national level. And I think it would potentially. Now, I will say, if we did happen to go on an independent level, which we won't until for 11 years, John. 11 years. This show's going to be on for a long time. We have a lot to talk about in 11 years, right? But
facts.
I just feel like if Michigan was on a national scale in terms of schedule, although I will say, what does that mean for the Ohio State game? I think they'd honor it. But who knows, right? I mean, at the end of the day, with the playoff, I don't know.
I think you would have to, because Ohio State would be afraid of looking like a bitch if they try to pull out. Like that would be one like I feel like you still see these protected games that are now interconference games.
Yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State would be protected.
Yeah, I think so too, because Michigan can create their own schedule also. And plus, we don't want to do what Notre Dame did, and that's run away from a rival. I mean, I wouldn't want to lose the Ohio State game, but I mean, I would say if we went independent, it could maybe be not an every year occurrence. But you never know. Maybe, because that's the thing too, dude. Like, let's play hypothetical. And I know we got other topics, but let's say hypothetically, John, we went independent. Let's say hypothetically we dealt with that flag planting situation where they acted like a bunch of fuckboy crybabies. Why would maybe Michigan's like, let's give it a year. You can't handle it. You know, that could happen, bro. It really could. I mean, look, did anyone think Notre Dame would stop their rivalry with us? I mean, that thing goes on and off all the time.
That was shocking that Notre Dame pulled away.
Kick the can to 2031 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the next two are 2033 and 2034.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think those are the next two times we play them.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know, something to think about. I mean, now would we keep the rivalry with little brother? Maybe because it's an automatic W. I don't know, but
yeah. If we had to pick one, I feel like I'd want Ohio State.
Of course. Why? Yeah, it'd be. I mean, look, we don't have to worry about it now, but it's something. No. It's. Listen, if we went independent, though, these are things that would need to be considered. I mean,
yeah, I mean, the scheduling does become a bit more difficult because instead of scheduling 3 non-cons, essentially your entire schedule is non-con, right? So you have to. So it does. I will say this. I don't think we have the right athletic director for an independent bid, because I think you need someone who isn't a do-nothing, who sits back and is reactive instead of proactive on almost every matter known to man. So I think you would need a much more proactive athletic director to be independent.
Yeah, I think you would need a different type of athletic director for an independent school. Interesting. Yeah. Something that I just found interesting, and it's pretty relevant. So we'll see, John. We'll see how this plays out. It appears Michigan's not budging on it, but it appears the Big Ten still wants it. So we're going to find out how this one plays out.
For sure. Well, JR's curious about this, or about Petiti anyway. Did you see Petiti's college football playoff expansion pitch? I have not. Does he want to expand it further?
I'm aware that
24 to 28 team potentially.
2014 playoff, and officials have agreed to keep exploring formats that are beyond 12, and they publicly already support 16. Yeah. So, I mean,
I think it's already too big. I think 12 is 12 feels like too big in my opinion.
Like 12. I like 12. I think the parity, I think it'll play itself out.
Yeah.
You have one 12 team playoff, and then you have another 12 team playoff bracket. You don't do a 24 team playoff bracket. You have a 12 team and you have a 12 team. The 12 team is your 13 through 25 schools. And there's your top 25. And they can fuck off in that bracket, okay? And then guess what? You know what they should do? If you don't make the top 25, no more bowl games. You don't make it. Only 25 teams make it. But the top 12 get to the big tournament. and that's the college football playoff. And that's how it should fucking be. They're not going to do it, though. They're going to do whatever makes the most money, even though it waters down the sport and destroys the quality of the game, because it will. Like, if you have a 2014 playoff, what a waste of fucking time. And not only that, risk of injury. Not only that, listen, people are concerned about watering down the season now.
The regular season will mean practically nothing with a 24-team playoff.
No, I mean, the only thing of benefit will be buys and home field advantage. I mean, but it's still it's too much.
And then imagine if you're 25th and you don't make it, and then you have to be in the Buffalo Wild Wings Who Gives a Fuck Bowl.
Yeah.
And imagine that feeling. Like, it's bad enough now that 12 teams can get in. Imagine you don't get in. You're like right on the cutoff, and then you have to go to a bowl game that's not affiliated with the. It's just I don't like it.
It needs to not go to. It's going to go to 14. They've already agreed on that. It's going to go to 14. It should be 12.
Yeah,
that's my rant.
Thambone is asking about what's going on with Michigan's wide receiver recruiting. They have no wide receiver recruit in the top 150. That has to get better. Are we talking about the 26 class?
Let's look. I mean, I haven't looked at the updated rankings.
Yeah, we'd have to. If the rankings have updated.
Travis Johnson is ranked 126.
Yeah, Travis Johnson, boom.
Who is nice. And Zion Robinson is ranked
153.
153. Both are actually pretty good.
They're good players. Jalen Piles is severely underranked.
Yeah, he is, but he's like, in my opinion, around 500, 600. But this recruiting class, I think, is actually, it's okay. Like, it's solid. We don't have the alpha, though. Like, we didn't get the Calvin Russell like we wanted.
Right.
And
that might have been a blessing in disguise when because I covered that announcement, and that was tough to host that show when they made us wait an extra hour.
Yeah, I mean, it got ratings though, but
it did numbers. That's true. You're right about that. Yeah, that did good. Numbers.
But yeah, look, should it be better? Sure, but I will say Travis Johnson and Zion Robinson are actually really good prospects. What the fuck is this? Hold on, y'all disrespect Jalen Pyle.
We just said, well, I don't think he's saying y'all isn't us. I think he's saying y'all.
I think he is.
Chat. Because we literally just said that Jalen Pyle was severely underranked. That's what I said anyway.
He should be around 500 or 600. I mean, that's where I'm at. And like, look, I don't anticipate he'll have a freshman impact. He's going to have to develop. I mean, or he's going to have to grow. He's going to have to get to the speed of the game. I mean, I don't even expect Zion Robinson to have a freshman impact. Travis Johnson, I do think will.
Yeah.
But regarding the recruiting,
you have to be so good. You have to be so good.
Yeah, it's not normal. And I don't anticipate Michigan's going to land an alpha receiver in recruiting, but again, the buzz is that Michigan's going to be very aggressive in the portal. So their time to add 2 talented wide receivers to this room is going to be the portal. And then you let the rest of these guys develop behind it, and we should have enough depth and talent in the wide receiver room that can reload, right? That's the goal. So we'll see. I'll tell you this, recruiting is fizzling out right now. I'm just going to let you guys know that right now. That does not appear that Michigan's looking to close on big guys. I know they're in talks with Brandon Finney. That is one of the big ones right now. And I don't have a recruiting update for you because it's that dead. I mean, listen, there's some small stuff, but it's nothing, in my opinion, that's worth bringing to the table because Michigan is operating like they're going to attack the portal, and that's where their resources are going to go, and it's not closing the rest of this class. Michigan appears to be very happy with this class. Michigan currently has 3 5-stars in this class.
It's pretty good for Michigan.
Yeah, they have 2 of them are on the defensive line. Okay, it's a really good class. It's a really good class, but it does appear that Michigan is going to not be as aggressive to close the class as they are going to be in the portal, and that's what we're going to have to pay attention to.
Here's what I'll say: we are actually gonna have a segment coming up later about what we like about the team this year, And I think you can expect that Andrew Marsh is going to be a big part of that segment. And when you see what Andrew Marsh is doing right now, he just got a huge award, Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Andrew Marsh. And when you see somebody put up 180 passing yards in a game, that's Ohio State level. And so you see a true freshman coming in right away and doing that. TJ, from a recruiting perspective, now the case can be made without a shadow of a doubt that you can come in as a true freshman. You got Bryce Underwood throwing to you. You can you can automatically put up a ton of NFL highlight film your first year. Boom. And there's the pitch.
Yeah, the pitch is, look, you can perform it, you can produce in this offense, and there's a role for you. Like the pitch needs to be, okay, the offense is ranked what? I mean, what's our passing offense ranked these days, John? I mean, let's go nationally. Our passing offense is ranked. It was like 106. Let's see if it
might be in the 90s now.
We are 103. We moved up 3 spots.
Look at that. Moving on up in the world.
The pitch is this. We're ranked 103 because you're not here. We need you. We want to be a top 25 offense with you. You know, you have the number 1 running back in the nation. You have a promising offense, which we'll get into. Obviously, I don't want to break down everything in the next topic, but you know, they can get it. They can get it. I think enough has been shown that they can have a passing attack with, you know, some added weapons. It'll be more dynamic.
And I will make this point because in addition to recruiting in general, there's also been discussion of continued discussion of Michigan's wide receiver woes in the portal. Yeah. And we need to remember, even when we get to manage expectations, even when we get to this offseason and we're talking portal, here's the issue. Michigan, due to its academic restrictions and the credit issues there, there are a lot of wide receivers that aren't going to come here because they have to take an extra semester, or they have to wait, or they have to. Whereas at another school, they just bring them in. They don't care. Bring them in right away.
Yeah. So here's my concern. Okay. We need to start looking at this now, and I guess we'll start sounding the alarm. The new transfer portal window is January 2nd to January 16th. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, and please correct me, that's a problem for Michigan. Does anyone know when winter semester starts for Michigan, guys? And I'm going to tell you why that matters.
Let's see. It's been 11 years. Winter semester.
Okay. So it's telling me that January 7th or 12th. Okay.
January 7th to 12th.
Or 12th. I don't know. It says 7th or 12th. But here's the thing, though.
January 12th.
Michigan has a rule. Michigan has a rule that if the winter semester gets so far, it will not add athletes to the winter semester, which is critical because of spring football. Okay, this happened last year. We ran into this problem last year with those Notre Dame, Rocco Spindler and the other offensive linemen from Notre Dame, because Michigan could not get them in time to make it for winter semester to then do spring ball. If they cannot get in the winter semester, they can't join the team until I think it's June 6th. So that's something we need to monitor. This is last year, the transfer portal window was like December 22nd to like January, I don't know, 10th or some shit. So we'll see, something to monitor. I could be over concerned on this, but I just know that Michigan has a cutoff. Other schools don't have, by the way. Other schools have exemptions. Michigan does not allow that. If you do not get registered by a certain date for Michigan, you don't get in, athlete or not. So something to monitor. It could be a thing. Because here's the other thing, John. Michigan does not automatically approve you for transfer. You have to go through admissions, and that takes fucking days. It takes sometimes a while, bro. Sometimes it takes a fucking week or more.
And other schools who are competing against us for these same people can get you in all like that. And so we have a massive competitive disadvantage in the portal.
Yes. Well, we'll see. Let's just It's potentially if it's January 12th, that sounds like a later start than normal. I mean, I'm trying to think when I went to college.
Yeah, Jan 12 classes start at 8 a.m. on Jan 12.
It might be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll monitor. I mean, I just know last year was an issue. I know this year the transfer portal window's later. We'll see. I don't know. I just something that, and I know Michigan doesn't have they don't allow late signups. So we'll see. We'll pay attention to it. Hopefully it's nothing.
Here's an interesting one from Vaughn. Hypothetical. If Bryce was to win the Heisman in his career, but never win a conference championship or natty, how would you view his legacy? Vaughn, how many Ohio State wins does he have?
Yeah, that's really the deciding factor. That would be the deciding factor.
If the answer's like 2 or 3, then I'm good.
Yeah, he's a legend. I mean, he'll be.
I'd love one natty during the Bryce tenure. I think would be. Yeah. We would hope that 2027 is a natty year, if not next year. But yeah, if he wins a Heisman, Vaughn, how many Ohio State wins does he have? That I really do need to know that in order to give the answer. JR, if all NCAA schools don't change their business models, they will all be broke. The game has changed. They have to change with it.
A lot of these schools are overcommitting themselves financially in terms of facility building, in terms of NIL share that they can't even afford. What you're going to see, I'm going to tell you this right, you're going to see this first. Cutting of Olympic sports. You already have seen it. You're going to see more of it. Mm-hmm. They're going to start cutting the diving team. They're going to start cutting the fucking rowing team. They will start cutting these sports. Michigan has vowed to not do that. They're even looking at expanding, adding women's hockey at the D1 level, plus a new arena. But which is crazy because Yost is legendary. But yeah, it's listen, it's going to get these school. That's why the UC investment is so critical, because these schools are over leveraged. It's wild.
Vaughn says he would have 1 win over Ohio State. I'd like to see 2. 2 out of 3.
1 win. So remember, he's going to play. He's only going to be here 3 years. He gets a Heisman and
max.
I mean, it would be. I mean, it wouldn't be. It would be like he did what he needed to do, but we want a title. Like he did his job. He got to win over Ohio State. He'd be 1-2 against Ohio State if that were the case. But he won a Heisman, and there's only been 3 Heismans in Michigan.
True.
He'd be the 4th Heisman.
Only 2 in the modern era of football.
Yeah. So. I mean, it would still be a successful career, obviously, but it wouldn't be. It's so wild, like how you beat Ohio State once, you do win a Heisman. Whose career would be considered greater, JJ's or Underwood's? I mean, it'd be JJ's still.
JJ.
3 Big Ten championships, national title.
He had 1 loss in his career.
Right, one loss. To fucking who?
TCU.
Yeah. Didn't they lose to Michigan State though?
That he wasn't starting. It was check down Cade that game.
They don't count it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, check down Cade doesn't count.
Although it was JJ's fumble. It was JJ's fumble.
It's true.
Anyways.
True. All right. We got Vaughn also saying everything private equity touches, it ruins. Yeah. Check out the story of Toys R Us.
Oh,
if you want to look at how private equity
Toys R Us
killed a lot of companies. Private equity comes in with the short-term cash infusion, and then they come and they have a ton of power, and they come in and change they remove a bunch of the stuff that made the company great to begin with. Dave Brandon was, I believe, one of the last presidents of Toys R Us before they went under. Remember Dave Brandon, Mr. Buy a Coke and get 2 tickets. Dave Brandon.
Yeah, Mr. Adidas.
Yeah. Ugh, Adidas. Drufus, member for 11 months. Thank you, Drufus, for that.
Dave Brandon is still a board member of Domino's.
Ugh. Gross. Michigan going independent. Can we get a yearly matchup with ND, please? I think, by the way, if Michigan went independent, a yearly matchup with ND is at least more likely, because then there's really no excuse, because both Michigan and Notre Dame will have 12 open spots. Like, both of them can basically chart their entire schedule without the conference basically saying you have to play this game, this game, this game. Like, Notre Dame has full freedom of schedule to make the deals that they need to make for home and homes, period. So Michigan would have that same thing. There'd be no excuse not to do it. Thank you, Drufus, for the 11 months. And Michigander with 8 months, the Ocho, Jalen Pyle and Travis Johnson, gonna be special. Yeah, Jalen Pyle might be one of the most underrated recruits that I've seen, because when you look at his film and then you look at the rankings, does not compute.
No, it doesn't.
At all.
And he's in the state of Texas, and I know he's in the private school. That's what's hurting him, is he's in the private school fucking league, and that's what's hurting him, which is insane, because he does the 7-on-7 in camps and he shines. I don't know. It's something weird. And he's a good kid. I don't know. It's fucking weird. We'll find out. I mean, listen, his performance will speak for itself. Fuck everybody, you know?
It's true. It's true. And listen, Michigan is notorious for taking 3-star talent and turning them into NFL. So I think he'll be just fine. Keith with the 10, most money is 24 teams. Once some major party like the Big Ten proposes a number, tier 2 teams will vote for that number. RJ Young proposed to 24. I don't even like saying his name, but I have to as the super chat. Proposed a 24 team format that the 16 top teams each get a home game. Yeah. It's too many teams for me.
That's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about selling the college football environment and playoffs. That's what they're going to try and do, dude.
I know. It's about
and
money.
It will be sweet. I mean, like, there'll be some sweet to it, but it's just going to be watered down.
Drufus reminding everybody to hit that like button. And then Michigander with the 10. I'm going to make a comparison. Aiden Hutchinson came into Michigan 6'6", 245 pounds. Derek Meadows is 6'6", 220. You give him at minimum 1 year in the weight room, and he's going to be a monster. Yeah, with the new strength and conditioning coach, absolutely will be a monster with 1 year in the weight room.
Yeah, Julian Walker and Derek Meadows and Titan Davis are. Did anyone see the picture of Tariq Boney today? Check this fucking picture. So this is one of the guys who's a bit forgotten in the class. Do not forget about Tariq Boney, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Do not. This kid, I'm actually high on him. This is your Josiah Stewart, by the way. You guys ready? This is your Josiah Stewart. Tariq Boney had 48 tackles, 12 sacks, 20 for loss, 2 forced fumbles, a block kick, and 6 pass deflections. This is one of the kids in the class who is being forgotten. If you look at our recruiting class, you have Tariq Boney playing Sam. That's Josiah Stewart's position. Titan Davis, who is a borderline top 100 player. Julian Walker, who just got a 5th star by Rivals. Alistair Vallejo, who is Mason Graham 2.0. Carter Meadows, who's number 6th player in the nation. And Mikhail Blade, who's also a 4-star. This defensive line class is stupid. I'm a big fan of all of these guys. Big fan. And there's not one weak link in the defensive line class. And J.R. Morris wants us to mention that Tariq Boney was double teamed all year. He is like Josiah Stewart too. Like, he's very similar style.
Yeah. We got some dogs coming in.
Yeah, the
folks.
defensive line class, it's fucking nasty, dude. I wish the offensive line class was as strong, although I will say Marky Walbridge and Malachi Lee, fucking legit. Bear McWhorter is good too. I mean, it's a pretty good class. It's just
yeah. Friend of the program, Bear McWhorter. Yep.
And then we got some developmental guys, but yeah.
Speaking of friends of the program and Andrew Marsh and everything, I thought let's have a little sunshine today. We're critical on our team because we love our team, and we want our team to do well. However, we can't deny that at 8-2, there are some things about the current team that we like. All right. And I think that we have to start this man, who, by the way, came onto the program, still a recruit, I believe, when he was on the program, humble as hell.
Yes.
Andrew Marsh came in here, talked to us way back when, and back then I knew this kid was going to be special because he had that mentality right away. And look at what he just achieved with the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Andrew Marsh. And there it is. Andrew Marsh, Freshman of the Week. So I think that if we're talking about what do we like about the current team, how about the fact that Andrew Marsh is winning awards? He's 565 receiving yards, which is now, he has overtaken Donovan McCauley. And by the way, TJ, Donovan McCauley was ahead of Andrew Marsh before yesterday's game by about, I don't know, like 6-7 yards. McCauley was ahead. In one game, Andrew Marsh not only overtook Donovan McCauley, he's now about 123. He is exactly 123 yards past Donovan McCauley. He did that in one game, folks.
And he didn't even really play till the 4th game of the year. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's what lack of talent versus talent looks like. This is what talent looks like. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I was asked by Minnie yesterday, why is Andrew Marsh and Bryce Underwood show such a connection? Because you have two talented individuals playing football on a field where they are two of the most talented individuals on the field. I mean, it's just what it is, man. This is what happens when now guess what? Saban Hyder's coming. You got Travis Johnson coming, who I think's in a similar mold of Andrew Marsh in terms of who I think could impact. In terms of what I mean by that is impact early, 6'3" wide receiver Travis Johnson. Yeah, dude, it's exactly, and then like to build off this, John, what do we like about Michigan? Well, the freshman youth who are shining on this offense that's considered a top 10 team in college football, metrically speaking, which is wild because we all agree the team has not looked the greatest this year. We all agree there's flaws, but it just goes to show you there's flaws all around college football. But look, you have 3 redshirt freshman offensive linemen that are promising. Sprague's promising. Frazier's promising.
Garnera.
Marsh is promising. Jordan Marshall's promising. Underwood, although has had his moments of brightness and down, and darkness in terms of just poor play. These are all very encouraging things about this team that I think we could be excited about. I mean, there's a lot of, and being the youngest, and I'll let you go after this, John. We are the youngest team in the Big Ten by age. Our average age is the youngest in the Big Ten. And half of our offense are freshmen or redshirt freshmen.
Yeah. I mean, the youth is the how the young talent, the freshmen are performing. It shows, and we've talked about this over the years, that Jim Harbaugh, let's face it, kind of a slouch the last few years of his tenure in recruiting. He kind of treated 2023 as the last dance. And I had an entire episode called The Last Dance talking about this. This was before 2023 season even started. I was saying 2023 they were approaching it as the last dance, right? And that pretty much everyone was leaving, at least the major people after this year. I believe Jim Harbaugh was gone. I believe JJ was gone. I believed, most of the major talent was gone, and coaching. And so that trickled into recruiting, and we've clearly seen that. And again, has Sharon made some coaching errors in game? Has he been kind of up and down in various aspects? Sure. But one thing that we can't deny is now when you see the young talent coming in, whether it's Bryce Underwood, whether it's Andrew Marsh, these O linemen that you're mentioning, even like, the freshman defenders that some of the freshmen that are kind of coming in, even like a NOB, Owasu Boateng, and when we saw Nate Marshall, and like these guys are going to be ballers for Michigan. And so I'm with you on the young talent. Something else I've really liked about the team is obviously the running game. The running game, and of course we know that there's a big question mark with the run game for Maryland, and that Bryson Kudsdahl might be next man up against the Maryland Terrapins. But we can't deny that the running game has been extremely stout for Michigan with 2,230 total rushing yards. Definitely has multiple top 5 rushers in the Big Ten, because both Haynes and Marshall were top 5 rushers in the Big Ten. And Bryce Underwood has also had a 100+ yard rushing game this year. So the run game is really impressive. I think it's gotten even better as the season goes on. But TJ, when most games have 100+ yard, I think almost every game has had a 100+ yard rusher. Either it was Haynes in the beginning, then Marshall. That's damn good. And it then forces defenses to have to account for, if Bryce is making good throws, and he was making excellent throws at the beginning of this last game, and even that last final drive when they came back to win. If your pass game is improved, that means it opens up the run too. And you're seeing that with the improved passing game, you're also seeing the run continue to be stout. And the O-line is really gelling when it comes to the run. I still think there's a lot of pass pro discussions, but the run pro has been money.
Yeah, and it will. I mean, look, that's the thing is, like, look, we are seeing a team that, you're right, John, is the passing attack where it needs to be? No, but I mean, that's where the youth is. You have freshman offensive linemen blocking juniors and senior defensive linemen, right? You have, so which is why, we gave up 3 sacks against Northwestern, right? You have freshman wide receiver as your best wide receiver. You have a freshman quarterback literally learning the game as he goes, learning the college game, that is. It's one of those things where it's going to get guys in a year or two are going to be a fucking juggernaut. In a year or two, these boys are going to be stronger and older and faster, and they're going to have more experience than any other player their age. We're going to be a good team. All right, so what else do we like? The future's bright. We're 8-2, youngest team in the Big Ten. There's a lot to be excited about. But, we're aware of areas that need improvement, but whatever, regardless. The reality is, and I know people really want a certain standard this year.
Yeah.
But the next few years should be good. Real fucking. So the future's bright, John. And this recruiting class we're bringing in is bright. We'll be able to truly appreciate it more after the off season in terms of the portal and all that. But there is reason to be excited for the future. I mean, is there not? I mean, look at our quarterback room. Look at the quarterback room, bro. Brady Smeagol. You got Carr. We just added Carr. You got Peter Bork. By the way,
Carr brother.
I told y'all when Peter Bork committed, he was the likely one to, after Bryce. People gave me shit over that. Something we'll monitor. But there's a lot to be excited about, man, in terms of that. I don't know what else. If you want to hit on defense, we could talk about that. Regarding defense.
Defense. The defense has been obviously the front 4. I think Derek Moore and Barham, when he's on, I think Barham obviously has had kind of an on and off situation, but I think overall defense is playing to the level of what's being asked of them from their coach, right?
Yeah.
I don't put a lot of any woes on defense. I actually don't put a lot of that on the players, right? I think the players are executing for the most part at a pretty high level. They're doing what their defensive coordinators be asking them to do. And they're keeping teams under what they need to so that Michigan's offense can get it done the rest of the way. And that's really all you can ask for from a defense, right? You want a defense that can hold the other team down enough that the offense can score enough to win.
Yeah,
and that's what's happening.
Well, all right. So our defense right now is ranked 17th nationally. Our run game is 12th nationally. We just looked at the passing game, 103rd nationally. We see where the gap is on this team, right? We also, we agree special teams needs to improve in time, right? But you add some talent to that. Why? Like, do we think that Bryce Underwood's the reason why it's 103? No, the reason why it's 103 is you don't have the horses.
You have one wide receiver that's producing.
You have one wide receiver. That's exactly the thing too. Is like with Marsh, it's clear as day because there is a lack of talent in that room. I mean, guys, we are forced to play Samaj Morgan. Even Sharon Moore said we could use him at some point this year, like because they can't get rid of him because there's nothing better in the room. So now we're talking about what we like. So let's not go down that road.
Yes.
It's easy to go down that road. But yeah, I mean, it's just
we can mention this with punt returner though of something that we like. It was reported. So Sharon Moore in his Monday press conference did say that Andrew Marsh is likely going to be the punt returner moving forward.
And then, of course, I think we're all happy to see that. Let me give two more items that I think are actually extremely encouraging.
Yeah.
The defensive back talent on this team, the freshmen, it's good. It's real good. You're Jordan Young, you're Elijah Dotsons, you're Jaden Sanders, you're Shamari Earls. These are very promising young players. You have good players coming in the next class like Jordan Deck. Where's my other guy? Dorian Barney. And Andre Clark's a pretty nice player too. These guys are all coming in. But the other thing that's also extremely exciting is the youth movement that's coming on this defensive line. We talked about it. We talked about it already about the youth that's coming in, but you also already have players already here like Nate Marshall. That's encouraging, right? You have your, you have your other guys that you're kind of hoping could take the next step, like Devin Baxter, and Benny Patterson, players like that. Like we'll see. Those are to be determined. It's not Julius Holly. That's actually a good player. He's a freshman this year too. So there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of youth coming. This team is going to have. I believe this team is being positioned to be in a reload position. I think Sharon's building that. So it's to be determined how that gets developed. I'm not going to that's something we don't have the answer on. We're going to find out as next season comes and the season after that. But regardless, the clay is good. The clay is good, John. Now, how does the team sculpt it? That's to be determined. I'm not going to sell anyone anything I don't have an answer to. We're going to learn together, but there is a lot to be excited about. The program's in a good position. At the end of the freaking day, John, we're 8-2. Even with the mistakes we've had, John, it's actually pretty impressive. And then don't even give it. And let me tell you this right now. No one say, oh, well, your schedule. We have like the 14th hardest schedule in college football so far to date. Let me confirm that. I believe I saw it the other day.
Yeah, I feel like with the Oklahoma non-con, that bumped up our strength of schedule a lot. Like, I think the Big Ten schedule's on the lighter
Michigan
side,
is
but every
14th.
school has that.
Michigan is 14th in strength of record.
In the country.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Crazy. That's 8-2. The youngest team in the Big Ten. Like, there is. I mean, I understand. Because, like, as I'm talking these points with you guys, I'm also debating in my head, like, well, what about this and this and the coaching staff? That said, there is a lot of bright spots. So there is a lot to be excited about. Is it perfect? Yeah. It's not perfect, but there is a lot to be excited about.
Absolutely. Let's hit a couple more supers. So Michigander here. Have you seen what Joel Klatt said yesterday about Michigan fans?
Yes.
Jake Crane said we need to chill because the youth and the future is so bright. Michigander 5.
Joel Klatt. Yeah, Joel Klatt. I actually thought about playing the clip here. Essentially, Joel Klatt hit on. Here was, and maybe I missed something, but I watched the clip. Joel Klatt essentially said, actually, someone tagged me and said, actually, this is fucking hilarious. Somebody tagged me and said, TJ's audience, our audience, John, needs to watch this clip because we're too hard on the program. So essentially what Joel Klatt said was, this offense is night and day better than last year. Like, it's not even close. He's right. It is.
Yeah.
This team is 8-2, and it's played pretty well at times. And it's doing a lot in the Big Ten. Like, it really is in terms of where this team's at. And yes, Sharon Moore's learning on the job. And yes, this is a young team, but the future is really bright. Like, it's really, really bright for this. And it is. He's not wrong. One thing, now I will say, watching the clip, I pushed back a little bit. So now I'm going to give you, I guess we're going to go through some real duality here. Sure, Joel Klatt's right. If I could find this fucking clip, if it's not that long, John, if I could find it and we could play it, I don't think we'll get copywritten. But essentially, fuck, I don't know if I could find it in time. But anyways, here's my problem with Joel Klatt's points. I really don't know if I could find it. I should have had it ready for us. But there are moments where this team looks like it's week 1, week 2. That we are making mistakes. We are making mistakes, and I understand the youth. You're like, well, they're freshmen. What about Sharon's timeout management? Oof. What about Sharon Moore's roster evaluation?
Oof.
You know what I mean? Like
Smosh Morgan hanging around for so long.
Like, these things are things like I think one of the things that fans who are of the position, we should be excited we're 8-2 and Michigan's is doing actually pretty good. I think fans who are of that group need to understand the reason why a lot of the fan base is not with you is because they're not sold on the coaching staff. They do see the promise. They do see the young talent, but and I'm going to include myself here. Fuck it. We are not sold that this coaching staff is the right staff. I'm not sold. Sharon gets another year. I'm not calling for Sharon Moore's job. Sharon Moore gets 1 more year. He gets next year. But at the same
people misunderstood what we did on Saturday, and they said that, oh, well, y'all are putting polls up. Both of us wanted to take a pulse. We wanted to take the temperature of the community because it's an interesting question. 600 people answered. So clearly people thought it was an interesting poll because 600 people answered, and it was fairly even. More people out than in by a little bit, like 54-46, but close.
Okay. All right. Here's actually a joke. I wonder if I can play this, John. It is 2 minutes. Should we play it? Do you think we get knocked?
And maybe just if we can get the high level.
Here's one of his quotes. Joel Klatt is saying that Michigan fans view our current roster through the lens of the 22 and 23 Michigan team. And Joel Klatt is saying you can't do that. Because, and then I know Michigander mentioned this. He goes, the 22-23 team essentially had 500 starts in total, where our current roster probably has 100.
That's true.
This is true. But you still have these other areas where it's like, okay, but you should see a steady trend. You should see a steady trend up. You shouldn't see the same mistakes in week 12 you see in week 1. You definitely shouldn't see the in-game blunders we saw last year, the poor timeout management, poor in-game decisions, the conservativeness at certain points. That's a coach who's learning. Now, granted, next year it may click. This offseason, it may click. It might. No one's saying it won't. But you can't be mad at the fan base who is not all in on this coaching staff.
And then, some of the timeout decisions, the decisions about challenging
or the stubbornness of certain position groups. Like, why are we not recruiting at a higher level at linebacker? Why the fuck did we trust the wide receiver room?
They like what they have, was what Chris Ballas said. They like what they have.
Or how about the year prior with the quarterback room? They believed in that. I shouldn't be concerned that my coaching staff believed in that quarterback room.
What a joke that was. Yeah.
I think it's crazy. I
wonder
crazy.
if they were hoping JJ would come back, because there's no other explanation. You cannot tell me Davis Warren and Alex Orji you were happy with that.
But JJ made up his mind in January, bro. Like, he was already decided. Like, you had the spring portal at least to fucking go after somebody.
I know.
They didn't. I mean, it's wild to me that the fan base who is saying the fan base is whining, the portion of the fan base who's saying to the other portion of the fan base that fan base is whining and crying. Do you honestly trust this coaching staff 100% to where you think they're going to be here the next 5 years? Wink might not even be here next year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, listen, a lot of people recognize the talent and the bright spots of this team, but there are areas that I don't think are out of the realm of acceptability to question.
Yeah.
Ron
Bellamy should go.
To Nick's point, Ron Bellamy's still hanging out.
Yeah. And it looks, I mean, what does it say that someone who has the least amount of time with Ron Bellamy, because I would argue Andrew Marsh has the least amount, like one of the receivers with the least amount of time. Samaj Morgan had 3 years.
He did early enroll, but yeah, I hear you.
True. But compared to a Samaj Morgan or a Kendrick Bell or these players that Peyton O'Leary, these players that have been around, hypothetically,
Fred Moore,
how about Fred Moore? If Ron Bellamy was an elite wide receiver coach, I know, shame on me. If Ron Bellamy was a good wide receiver coach, Fred Moore would be here, and he'd be a starting wide receiver, most likely, playing not as well as Andrew Marsh, but he'd at least be he'd be better than Samaj. He'd be serviceable. It's wild, and that's an indictment on Ron Bellamy. And again,
Well, go on. Well, no, it's an indictment on Sharon Moore, and
that too.
Yeah,
for keeping him.
What about Grant Newsome?
I'm okay with Grant. I'm Grant Newsome's growing on me, like a fungus. Like, he's growing on me because
I'm not.
Because I will say that you look at where they were in the beginning of the year. You look at where they are now. There's been demonstrable growth. There's been demonstrable improvement, especially in run protection. And it's extremely impressive with the amount of different O-line combinations that there have been.
All right, that's fair.
Normally, that's the death of an O-line. To have that many differentiations in the 5 people throughout the year.
Yeah, and you lost Babaloa, you lost Evan Link.
So here's where I have it. JB Brown, get the fuck out. Like, November 30th, you're gone. Yeah.
Dude, why is JB Brown on the fucking staff? How is he a designated coordinator? He doesn't even recruit much, and he doesn't do shit. And his unit's garbage, and he's been here for 2 years.
Yeah. JB Brown has to go. And then it's I'd say Ron Bellamy. And then from there, you can make an argument on 3rd, 4th. But definitely, and then I think you bring in a better quarterback. I know that they have a dedicated guy, and I always forget the name when it's time to chat. But they mentioned it on the Denard. I want to say it was the Denard and Sam show on Monday. They mentioned the guy's name.
Yeah.
There's that guy that's actually like on the sidelines. He's kind of like the de facto quarterback coach. But they need to get Joe Sloan, who Emil Robinson is saying the same thing.
I would love Joe Sloan.
Joe Sloan. For wide receiver coach actually says here, but I want him at least to coach the quarterback.
Yeah. Dude, that'd be a home run. And he's a good recruiter. He's a great recruiter. Yeah, it's funny, John. We just did all the things we like, and then we just went in on Michigan again. But listen, look, it is what it is.
Super chat. We had to answer the super chat.
Well, and the truth is too, like, people are like, dude, there's nothing wrong with being hard on your team, man. There's really not.
We want an elite team. We want a team that can hang with the thing is, like, and again, I've said this a lot of shows. There is zero reason that Michigan shouldn't be able to hang with Ohio State and win-loss in recruiting in every way because we have more resources. They're in debt. Their athletic department's in $38 million, I want to say, in debt. We're not. We have money. We have donors coming all over the place to put $12 million to a quarterback, or $2 million to a running back, or whatever it is. There's no reason that Michigan shouldn't be an 11 win a year
10.
football
10.
program, minimum 10,
Playoffs.
and be in the playoff every year.
Contending for the Big
Fraudulent Penn State got in the playoff and won 2 playoff games last.
That's right, and their coach is gone. Their coach is gone, John. Maybe the standards were too high. Standards were too high at Penn State, John.
He's off at Virginia Tech, and he can be as mid as he wants at Virginia Tech.
I'm gonna be real with you. Here's some truth too. Not all fans in the group of the optimistic fan, but there is a portion of fan in the group of optimistic fan who's just an apologist. And no matter what Michigan does, they'll fucking bend over and take it. Sure. And you fucking will. And you fucking will. You know it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can all think of a certain...
Yeah, I think we all are thinking about the same exact person at the same fucking time right now. Does his initial start with a D? Yeah.
Yep.
Respectfully, though. Hey, he's a Michigan fan. I ain't got nothing wrong with him.
Check down Cade, he has a shrine to check down Cade.
He's a pro. He's pro Michigan, everything all the time.
All right. So I don't know if I read this one already, but Joel made a point. They only have 100 starts. So yeah, very true. I mean, it's a young team. That is true. Nothing wrong with that. T Hambone. I'm sorry. Have I been pronouncing that wrong the entire year? I'm sorry. T Hambone says our future defensive ends should be lights out, but our D tackle recruiting looks weak. What is Michigan's plan for that position? It has to get better.
Alistair Vallejo's good, but that's all I can give you. I mean,
yeah, he's a beast.
Clayton Davis might move inside. I mean,
I think he probably will.
They're not getting nose tackles, and I don't know why. They should.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to portal that. Maybe
they might. Portal it. They're expensive. They're hard. There's not a lot of 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 330, 340, 350 pound guys, who are athletic. It's rare shit.
My bad. T Ham. Okay, I got it now though. T Hambone 30. I got you. It only took a year. I appreciate it. Emil Robinson. We did that one already. Quinn says Newsom sucks. O-line only started getting better once Moore started assisting. You're not wrong about that either. You're not wrong.
And that's the second person. Castillo is also helping him.
I know. He's got multiple coaches basically teaching him how to be an O-line coach. It's tough because he is a beloved player. The university. It's interesting because I do think former players do get more slack. I mean, look at Jim Harbaugh. He would have been fired if he hadn't been a former player in 2020.
Well, his track record in the NFL helped in Stanford, but yeah, I mean,
he would have been fired.
It mattered.
If he wasn't one of the best quarterbacks we've ever had, he would have been fired in 2020. 1,000,000%. And I think if check down Cade probably saved Jim Harbaugh's job with that come from behind at Rutgers. Because I think they would have had to fire him and lose to Rutgers.
Dude, I know, and I was so hyped for Cade to come in.
I know.
I was actually big on Cade Cunningham. Cade
me too.
Cade McNamara.
And honestly, I was until he started. The reason I'm hard on him is because he started ripping on the team, and he started. He was just firebombing on the way out. If he had just been like, you know what, it didn't work out. best of luck to everybody. I'm on to Iowa, but I'm always going to be a Wolverine. Like, we all still love him for what he did in 2020, what he did in 2021.
Yep.
Even if he did like the check down a lot. Who cares? We've had many quarterbacks that like to check down a lot. But anyway, you do have a point, Quinn. Michigander asks, what is the point of putting up all these yards if you can't put up 7 points, let alone struggling to put up 3 points? The mistakes need to be fixed also.
They're empty calories is what they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, our kicking game's piss poor and our turnovers are a little high at the moment. I mean,
5 turnovers and winning the game was pretty damn impressive.
where does Michigan rank in the turnover margin? I'm so curious.
It's so rare.
It's actually pretty good. It's 38th.
I want to say that the last time we won a game with 5 turnovers was 2009.
No, we've never won a game. Oh, maybe with 5, but not with a 5-0 ratio. That's never happened before.
Yeah, 5-0 ratio, never. But I think it was 2009 was the last time we had 5 and 1. Yeah. During the Rich Rod era. So that's not exactly an era that you want to be thinking of.
The Dave Brandon era.
Oh, God. But you're right. I mean, the turnovers are unacceptable. And it's also not all Bryce. Obviously Samaj Morgan, whatever you want to say about, was it a fumble? Wasn't it a fumble?
It wasn't.
And I would say it wasn't, but like he's put the ball in harm's way so many times that one, okay, whatever. But
listen. Yeah, that ref sucks.
Yeah, ref sucks. But the point is that like Bryce has to get better. I do like the fact that he's risk taking. I am torn on that because I want him to take some risks. He needs to be okay. He can't be like in the Oklahoma game when they were basically handcuffing him and he could barely do anything. And they were saying, you can only do this route and this, you can only throw to this place and this place. And he needs to be free to be able to run the offense. But at the same time, there is something to be said for ball security and just taking care of the football as much as you can. Limit it to 2 turnovers a game. Can we just limit it to 2? I'm not even saying 0. 2 turnovers, and we'll probably be able to beat most teams with 2 turnovers. But 5 is tough. And if we weren't playing against a pretty bad team, that's a loss. That's a loss. Right? Okay, we got another super from Cole Moat with the 10. I believe the entire whole strength and conditioning program needs an overhaul. For the identity of a smash game, we are playing too soft. Both sides of the ball, we need to do some serious hitting. Go blue. It's tough to come to that.
I'm open to a new strength and conditioning coach, though.
I know.
I'm not sold on what I've seen from Justin Truss. I'm not.
The tremendous amount of injuries.
Yeah, injuries.
Tremendous amount. You can argue some of them were not look, people are saying, why do you blame the strength and conditioning coach? If it was a couple of one-off injuries, you don't. If it was clearly a football-related thing that would have happened no matter who it was, then that's one thing. But this is a systematic issue. This has been an issue all year. This isn't a one-off. This isn't 1 or 2 players going down because a defender hit their, hit them wrong. No. This is a systematic issue. So is he the right guy? I don't know.
I'm open to a new strength and conditioning coach. I mean, listen, if he stays another year and the team looks great next year, then sure, I'll evolve my opinion. But I don't see anything that makes me sold. I don't even hear anything that's making me sold. You heard all the time about Ben Herbert. Justin Tress, it's just, I don't know. You don't really hear much. You really don't.
And I in 2023, I mean, when I was hosting this show with Mark,
Abigail O'Connor can stay.
When I was hosting the show in 23, I was talking about Ben Herbert all the time in a positive way.
He was a main.
had a really good chat with Zach Marshall about it and learned a lot about how Ben Herbert kind of was a part of the day-to-day for Zach and for the players as for accountability. And he helped set that culture where it was kind of like this military, like you are going to be putting in work. Like when you're in this building, you're here to work. That's it. Like you're here to put in work because we're trying to win a national title. That's the mentality. It's about wins. Jake Butt was talking about it. Jake Butt was saying how when Brady Hoke walks in the room, everybody's joking. Everybody's having a great time. Everybody's laughing. Jim Harbaugh walks into the room, silent. Because there's a respect there. And the relationship with Jim Harbaugh, Ben Herbert was a lot better when you were winning, right? So Jake Butt said, I didn't have a good relationship with Jim Harbaugh, really. But the 21 to 23 teams did. Why? Because they won a lot of football games. So anyway, I said a lot of nice things about Ben Herbert in 23 is what I was saying. So let's see if we can get back to that and have a tough program. I still think we are in various position groups. We are. Like, I don't think that it's across the board a soft team. I think that we're winning it. Like the O-line is winning in the trenches most of the time. The D-line is winning in the trenches. I think in the trench play, in the running game, holy shit. I mean, Tony Alford has those guys running through a brick wall. He's an excellent running back coach, and he coaches them hard.
Yep.
Like there are points of the team position groups that are very tough. It's just not across the board systematic like it used to be. And I think that might be the loss of Herbert. But anyway, let's see. We got Keith. Keith has been a member for 16 months. He was we call him the charter member of the Connor Stallions espionage team. And by the way, all these names you see here are Connor Stallions espionage members right now. Joel Klatt said, relax. From 30,000 feet, we look fine.
A lot of things look fine from 30,000 feet, John.
Yeah. It's true.
But then when you dig deeper, I don't know. I hate the whole 30,000 view thing. Like, listen, we're not fucked. It's just about what is your level of it all comes down to this. What is your level of standard and expectation? And then if you think people's standards and expectations are too high for Michigan, then you need to ask yourself, what kind of program is Michigan? Is Michigan a blue blood tier 1 program?
Yep.
Or is Michigan a tier 2 program? Or is Michigan a tier 3 program?
It's a good question. And we're going to find that out the next 2 games. I think we're going to get an answer to that because we're going to have the ultimate test. Now, Maryland, I would say is a B test. It's a test, but it's not like when we're going to be facing the number 1 team in the entire nation, Ohio State. So we're going to find out real soon. Because if you go 10-2, then I think you have your answer. You beat straight up the number 1 team in the nation, go to the playoff. I think that's an A-tier program. If you lose the 1 year, if we lose to Ohio State, we've lost every game we were supposed to, like basically every game we were supposed to win, we did. And none of the games that were a challenge, we lost all the games that were actually a challenge and like a ranked opponent. That's pretty, like, that's the difference. It really comes down to the Ohio State game.
You know what's wild? Is if we had a non-conference that was cupcake, we'd be in the playoffs.
Yeah. Pretty much guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
We wouldn't be in this situation. We'd be 10
we need to beat Maryland. Just beat Maryland, you're in.
Or 9. We'd be 9-1. Beat Maryland, we're in. That's the Penn State path, basically. Penn State had one very difficult opponent. They dropped to Indiana. Penn State last year Penn State last year didn't have to face both Michigan and Ohio State. They only had to face Ohio State. So therefore, they only lost one game. Right? And so because of that, they were able to skate into the playoff.
I know. It is what it is, though. I mean, it is what it is.
Michigander, and this will be our last super chat, and we'll talk to our sponsors for a second and talk about Maryland. But Joel said that the only other time in college football history when a team had 5+ turnovers and missed field goals was one other game. 2016, BYU, Boise State. And Boise State. Boise State won? BSU? Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. The Joel Klatt show is pretty good. Like I think you learn something when you watch that show. I will say that. All right, let's go ahead and listen to our folks at Win Agency one more time here, talking about the win that we just experienced.
Hey, Michigan fans! Another exciting win for the Maize and Blue. With temperatures getting colder and the games getting more intense, we know open enrollment for health insurance is right around the corner. Open enrollment for 2026 goes from November 1st to December 15th for those who want a January 1st effective date. Let Win Agency take care of your health plan so you can spend more time and energy following our amazing team. Give us a call or visit our website today. Go Blue!
That's Win Agency, and I'm dropping all 3 of the different ways that you can put in some info and get yourself a health insurance or life insurance quote right then and there. Boom. So check out those links if you need Medicare help, marketplace, or life insurance. And then also, don't forget about Healthy Dogma, our other major sponsor here. And let's see here. So every Michigan fan knows the feeling of family. And for many of us, that includes our dogs. Healthy Dogma believes in feeding them like family with ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. Order at healthydogma.com. Use the code 25GoBlue to save 25% off. And I'll have it in the chat here. In the chat. Boom. If you use this link, you can use the code, of course, but if you go straight from my link right here, then you get the 25% automatically applied. And I would just ask everybody to try some treats out. Just try something out. You know, these guys, they are Michigan locals. They root for the Maize and Blue, and they're putting out some really unique and really high quality food for dogs. So check them out. All right. And with that said, I'll also do this before we get to our topic. Michigander reminding everybody to smash that like button. Let's get those likes up. Help spread the word about our shows. We're now doing 4 live shows every single week, unless it's a bye week, then it's 3. But 4 shows every week for all of you. Like, all we ask is hit the like button. Like, if y'all want to super chat, that's cool. But please hit the like button because it's so helpful. Helps get more people to see these shows. And that's why we put them on, for the community to be here and to talk and to chat and everything else. Okay. So yours truly is going to be headed to College Park, Maryland on Saturday. We've got our Maryland preview brought to you by FanDuel, which is another one of our sponsors. Check them out. $5 gets you $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So Michigan favored by 13.5 going to College Park. Kickoff is at 4 p.m. Eastern on the Big Ten Network. And having gone to another one of these back in 2017, I can tell you that when Maryland isn't doing so hot and when Michigan is, it's pretty much like a home game. The reason is because at College Park, Maryland, it's in what we call the DMV area. So what does that mean? It means DC, Maryland, Virginia. telling that, I know you know it, I'm telling the audience. DC, Maryland, Virginia. So you've got Michigan alum working in Washington, D.C., working in Baltimore, working in major areas, major metropolitan areas, and they go in to College Park for to support the Maize and Blue. Also, the alumni associations take massive groups of people. The DC Alumni Association, for example, takes massive groups of people to the Maryland Stadium to watch the game. So it's about a 80-20 split, and that's probably being nice to Maryland. Like it's almost like it's a Michigan home game, essentially. So with that said, obviously we're up against another freshman, right? Malik Washington.
That's right.
Who has recorded, this is very interesting, he's had 200 or more passing yards in 9 games this season. So he's tied with Jaden Mayava, Ethan Kalikmanis, and Indiana's Fernando Mendoza, who's up for Heisman potentially. So Malik Washington, great player. Obviously, true freshman. So it's true freshman against true freshman.
Yes.
And you're gonna have to contain somebody like that. But it's not just Malik, right? They do have weapons, they have runners. But Washington is definitely a problem. Their pass protection is also good. They've allowed just 4 sacks this entire season. So they're trailing only 2005 Minnesota for the fewest allowed through 10 games of a season by any Big Ten team in 30 years. So it's a like, this team is no slouch, TJ. This is I would call it another sleeper team, like a Purdue. Like these teams, their record may not be the greatest, but these are teams that Michigan cannot just sleepwalk through. We saw the struggles to beat a Northwestern team that has 5 wins, right? And in a last-second heroic. So what do you see about the Maryland offense that we're going to need to kind of account for, when we're going here?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, Maryland's offense, for those, it's ranked 101, John. Its passing game is 64th in the nation. Rushing attacks 115th. Its scoring offense is ranked 99th in the nation. John, this is a team that Michigan should be able to contain, should be able to limit, should be able to dominate. The players, I mean, you really hit on the player to worry about. That's Malik Washington, right? That's the player that all eyes will be on. And I'm sure Michigan will have a plan for Malik Washington, just like they had a plan. Who was the quarterback they kept in check? The Washington quarterback. His name's
Damon Williams.
Damon Williams. They did a really good job against Damon Williams, who was playing very well. I think a similar approach will be taken for him, for Malik Washington, because Malik Washington can get you with his legs. The running game isn't very effective. Their leading rusher is averaging 3.77 yards a carry, John. The receiving game, it's okay. I mean, they got 2 receivers eclipsing 400 yards, but nothing that is concerning. Let's just call it what it is. So, and if we look at Michigan's, and just let me hit here, John. If we look at Michigan's defense against the offense, look, our pass defense is 47th in the nation. Our rush defense is 12th in the nation. Our scoring defense is 12th in the nation. We should win this battle. Check to Michigan.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
What we've seen, though, is that offenses that were not ranked very high tended to move the ball against us, especially late in games. And we saw what happened with Northwestern, where it was 21-9. And, I hosted a members only watch party. So definitely give a shout out in the chat if you were able to make our members only watch party, and let us know if you liked that, because I may do another one for Ohio State. We'll see. But at the members only watch party, when we were up 21-9, I was like, well, this is pretty much sewn up. This is pretty much ball game. But what happens? Wink's defense allows teams to hang around, and we start playing sloppy. With the turnovers and just creating mistakes. Like, one of my biggest frustrations with this team is Michigan can't ice the game against cupcakes, against teams that we should curb stomp, because once it gets to a certain point, Wink starts to bring in the freshmen, rotate too much, start playing softer coverage, and then the offense just has their way. And it keeps it to a 1-possession game when it should be a 3-possession game or a 4-possession game.
Yeah,
that's my concern.
It's fair. I mean, it's I can't argue against it. It's a fair concern. We've seen it. But I will say the defense has gotten better throughout the year in terms of it looks like it's playing a cleaner game of football. But look, I'm not going to deny that Michigan has its moments, and Malik Washington's dangerous enough to where you better be on your game. He's a dynamic enough player to take over a game. He just is, and if we look at, John, if you're okay with me moving on to Maryland's defense versus our offense.
Sure. Let's do it.
Maryland's defense is ranked 89th in total yards, 70th in passing, and that's 200 yards a game. Their total yard mark is 390 a game. Their rushing is 105th. Again, we should dominate here. They're currently averaging 23 points a game, 59th in nation. But if we look at Michigan's offense, Michigan's currently scoring at 27 points a clip. All right, that's good for 67th in nation. And now it's rushing attack. This is obviously skewed. We don't have our 2 top runners, 12th in nation, but that means nothing today. But our passing game, 103rd, that's where it's going to have to get better. The truth is, John, it appears to me this game is going to come down to 2 things offensively for Michigan. What kind of Bryce are we going to get? Mind you, this is on the road. Now, we saw him play fairly well in the Northwestern game towards the end. He started to not play as well. We're on the road. And then how are these running backs going to carry the load? Cool's dog. I expect a heavy dose of Jasper Parker. I actually think it's possible Jasper Parker breaks out. I think Jasper Parker could break out this game. I think Jasper Parker could have a moment that, it's his welcoming, it's his hello to the Michigan fan base. That's going to be interesting. But that's where we are. It's how good the game's going to come down to. I think Michigan's defense is going to keep Washington's offense in check. The game is going to come down to how does Bryce Underwood and these running backs handle Maryland's defense? And that's going to determine how this will go.
Yeah, the 2 players that I'm a little concerned about are Sidney Stewart and Zahir Mathis. Both of them are in the top 10 in Big Ten in sacks. So Sidney Stewart has 6 sacks and Mathis has 5.5. And Stewart and Mathis had an injury. So he had an injury, missed time, and he's still 5.5.
Mathis is a freshman.
Mm-hmm. They both are. Sidney is too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So again, this young talent coming in.
That's fucking nuts, dude. To be performing like that as freshmen is fucking nuts. I didn't know Stewart was. Why didn't I know that? He is a freshman. You're right. What was he ranked? Blowing my mind. I'm gonna look him up. Okay, keep going, John.
Yeah, and Maryland has the most defensive touchdowns in the Big Ten with 4. So it's definitely something we've got to watch out for. Because their defense isn't like Maryland defenses of old.
Dude. Oh, my God. No wonder I didn't know who this was. Holy shit. Look at this. No wonder I had no idea who the fuck this was, dude. Hold on.
I remember Mathis because we talked about him.
Yeah, hold on. Let me I'm going to pull it up right here. Sorry about this. All right, right now. Let me share the screen. Dude, this is fucking nuts. Could you imagine if we had a player? Oh, my bad. Pull it up. There you go. Yeah. Bro, he was ranked 1,507.
It's crazy.
And he has 6 sacks on the year. 6'2".
That's development.
I never even heard of this kid. That's why I was like, what? I didn't even know. This is nuts. Like, this is like hitting gold, bro. This is like rare of rare. This is... To have a kid even perform at this level, ranked in the thousands or later, 700s or later, let alone as a freshman. And then you can't even argue, well, Maryland's not good, so he's getting playing time. Bro, he's going against Big Ten offensive linemen, and he has 6 sacks. What's his game log look like? This is blowing my mind out. So here, let's go here. We'll go here instead. This is him. What's his game log? Where's he getting these sacks? Well, he had 4 against FAU. That's a bit of a cheat code. 3 against, oh no, I'm sorry, those aren't sacks. 1 against FAU. I mean, he's getting like a sack a game almost, bro.
Watch this space, folks.
It's solid. I mean, look, some of these are against weaker competition, but still, I mean, it's interesting. That's fucking interesting.
Watch. I want you guys to circle in your head the name Chad. Let's see. Is it Chad Wilt? But the people, whoever this DL coach is absolutely incredible. So, like, I think that's somebody we need to whoever their DL coach is. I'm looking it up now. I thought it was Chad Wilt, but let's see, list of football, because I really want to watch this guy. Okay, Corey Luget. Corey Luget is the defensive line coach, according to the website here, for the Maryland Terrapins. He's got his second season this year, 2025, and his first as the official D-line coach. So look out for this guy, Corey Luget, because I think he's going to be a name that you're going to be seeing as potential D coordinator and head coach material in the future. Because that's ridiculous. To have a guy ranked 1,000 and another guy, both true freshmen, with 11 and a half combined sacks is insane.
And Zaire Mathis was ranked in the 120s. It wasn't like he was a 5-star. Like, this isn't like Carter Meadows or like, it's a kid ranked in the hundreds. I mean, these kids would take 2 years to develop, at least 1 to 2 years. I mean, yeah, it's impressive. I mean, I'm looking now into Zaire Mathis's game log. Where's he getting these sacks? I mean, shit, he's got 1 against Illinois, 1 against Nebraska, 1 against Washington.
Pretty good teams.
I mean, he's producing at the end. I mean, look, as freshmen, we would love to see this type of outside of Derek Moore, who's producing for us, with sacks. You know what I mean? Like, Nate Marshall was ranked higher than both these guys. He's not performing like this. I like Nate Marshall, by the way. It's not a shot at Nate Marshall. It's just
literally, Derek Moore has the vast, no one else has more than 3. Like, the closest would be Barham with 3. Everyone else has 2 or fewer. And then you got Derek Moore with 8.5.
Where's Barham been? MIA. We don't even hear about him anymore. Damn.
So with that said, let's just in terms of keys to the game and predictions, what does Michigan need to do at College Park to seal this victory and go 9-2 heading into the Ohio State game?
The number one thing Michigan needs to do is contain Malik Washington. Do not allow him to get outside of the pocket. Keep him contained. He can run and he can get you. Make him uncomfortable. So contain and make him uncomfortable. The second, Nick's hilarious. The second thing Michigan needs to do is establish the run game. This has to be established to allow Bryce Underwood to play his game. And if you establish the run game, it should make it easier for Bryce Underwood to attack this defense. The third thing I would argue that Michigan needs to do is win the time of possession, which you can do by establish. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change it. Win the turnover margin. Obviously was a problem last game. I want to see improvement. I want to see improvement. Win the turnover margin, contain Malik Washington, establish the run game. Michigan will win. My score prediction, John, is going to be 31-17.
Yeah. And I give one to the other team too. So Maryland's going to have to utilize their home field advantage in every way. They need their student section to actually show up. Last time I went, Most of the student section was I guess overslept and was just elsewhere. They need their people to show up to make noise. In addition to that, I think that they're going to need to win the trenches to win. I just think Michigan has more paths to winning this game. I think they have more talent across the board. And aside from some of this true freshman talent that Maryland does have, and I think Michigan is suited and built to beat a team like this by like 10 points. And because of that, I'm going to say 27-17 Michigan. They have to prove that they can blow out a team before I start going back to the 30-point predictions. I got burned on one of those. Like Michigan's gonna stomp this. No, not at all. Not even close. So so I'm keeping it them much tighter till they can prove it otherwise.
We blew out Central Michigan. What are you talking about?
Oh snap! I forgot about the Chippewas.
Big game.
Oh man. Shame on me.
You know the school that little brother cheated against? The school that little brother had to vacate their win because
vacate. Yes. Imagine having to vacate.
It's terrible. Our guy, Connor Stallions, he was on it. He said there's something up with that Michigan State team, and I'm going to figure it out. And good on Connor Stallions trying to keep the integrity in the fucking game. At least somebody's doing it.
Fighting for the best for our players and for the and look,
yeah,
he pretty much single-handedly modernized college football. We can't forget that. Radios and the headsets, 20 years overdue.
Legend.
I do want to highlight this before we say goodbye from Mason Blue Dude. Very nice comment. Just want to thank you both on doing an awesome job with the show. Thank you for saying that. I agree the team is very badly coached, just wish the injury situation was not as bad as it is. Go Blue. You're 100% right that it's a injured team.
Dude, I wish Jordan Marshall was healthy. I wish Justice Haynes was healthy. I wish Andrew Babaloa was healthy. I wish Cole Sullivan was healthy. Would love to see what this team looks like with all of that.
Yep.
Would love to. Is what it is.
Absolutely. All right. With that said, I have to revise very quickly the post game because it's a different week. So
go on.
Michigan Wolverines call-in show live coming up Thursday night at 8 p.m. with you and Johnny Olden Jr., followed by the post game on Saturday, which TJ is going to be running at least for a while because I'm going to be calling in from the stadium. That's right, folks. I'm going to find a good spot when I need to find somewhere that's decent signal, and then I'll call in and give my takes on what I saw live. That's what's coming up this week.
Yeah, we still have to figure out the logistics of the call-in show, exactly all of that. But look forward to that. Should be a good post-game show. I'm sure we'll have a good time with it.
Absolutely. There's something you wanted to say about Keegan, or?
Yeah, Keegan wants us to show the Tommy Carr highlights. We'll do that Thursday. We'll hit on the Tommy Carr commitment a little more Thursday. We'll go from there. Yeah, we'll have fun with it.
Yeah, we will. Now, I believe that Mark Rogers is live. Yes, he is live right now with the college football rankings breakdown. So I'm going to post the link to that right here. And what I'm going to ask everybody to do, go over there, let Mark know that TJ and John sent you and that Wolverine Nation is there. Because I bet right now you got Dr. Buckeye over there. You've got the SEC fans over there. We got to get Wolverine Nation over there riding and supporting as well. Any final thoughts before we sign off here?
Just the fuck Ohio. And that's all I need to do.
Facts. Fuck Ohio. Let's go 10-2. Make the playoff. There it is. All right, everybody. What?
Michigan goes, so where's Bull? I don't know.
I saw him earlier.
He was there earlier. He's been doing that lately. He's like here for a bit, then he leaves.
Here. Yeah, he's got look, y'all. It's tough when you got a family, you got stuff going on. Like
no excuses, dude. No excuses. Play like a champion.
This is Michigan. We don't do excuses here.
Yeah. Priorities, Bull.
It's cold. It's the flu. It's whatever. No, not here. By the way, there may be showers and 40 degrees for the game.
Really?
So there could be some rain in the forecast. I'm hoping that it gets a little colder. We get a cold front and turns into snow. That would be amazing. But I'll take rain too.
Michigander is going to buy TJ beer on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because we're hitting 30, boys. We're hitting 30, boys.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead. So again, like I said, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for super chatting. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening however you listen. If you listen in your car, you listen wherever. And join me over at Mark Rogers, Voice of College Football, as we talk about Mark is hosting, to be clear. I'm not hosting tonight, but Mark is. And let him know that TJ and John sent you. And until next time, it's always go blue, and we'll see you soon.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.